In this lecture, we're going to talk about what is REPL and how to use it. REPL, known as Read Evaluate Print Loop, it is a programming language environment, basically a console window that takes a single expression as user input and return a result back to the console after execution. A REPL is waiting for us to enter some JavaScript code. Now let me show you how to open the REPL. So I'm going to just open the Visual Studio Code editor, and here I'm going to click on this terminal navigation menu. So I'm going to click on this terminal and select new terminal. When I click on it, I'm going to have the git bash as a result. If you're using command prompt, then you will get command prompt as a result. Don't worry, the commands are identical on both terminals. Now what I want to activate the REPL environment. To do that, I'm going to just type here a command, node, and press enter. When I press enter, I have a welcome status. Now you can notice this angle bracket. This indicates your REPL environment is now active. You can type any JavaScript code inside this REPL. Now as I said earlier, Node is not a language. It is a runtime environment. So while learning Node, you don't have to learn anything new. It's all about JavaScript. Let me just print some message to the user. So I'm going to just say here console.log. Down here I'm going to have a function log. So I'm going to just call a function of this log class. So I'm going to say here console.log. Then I'm going to specify parentheses. In the double quote, I'm going to say node course, and then I'm going to just close these parentheses. Now when I press enter, I'm going to have node course as a result. Now the node REPL is going to execute this function and return this result. I'm going to have this undefined result because this log function don't have return value. Now the cool thing about REPL is that it's interactive. As you write your code, if you press a tab key, the REPL will try to autocomplete what you wrote to match a variable you already defined or a predefined one. For example, if I just type here console.log again, then you can notice REPL try to autocomplete this word. So when I press tab, the REPL will autocomplete this word. And when I press .l, REPL will allow us to automatically complete this function. So when I press tab, REPL will automatically complete this word. So this is the cool thing of REPL. Now let me just print here document dot get element by id. Now when you try to execute this statement, it's going to return an error message because you don't have this document object in Node. Because you're not working on the browser, you're working on a system. Node allows us to execute JavaScript programs outside of the browser. So when you execute your JavaScript code outside of the browser, you can't access the document object. You can access the document object only in the browser. So you can't use document object in Node. The same goes for the window object as well. So if I just say here window.prompt or something that is a property or method of window will return an error message. Because as I said, we are not working on the browser. Instead of window and document, you have some different useful objects. For example, OS, path, numbers, and so on. We're going to talk about that later in this course. Now you know that you can't use document and window object. Then how do you identify which object is available in Node or not? You can just check out the different Node modules on the Node documentation, or in the REPL you can just type of the JavaScript class. So for example, let's say I'm going to just call here a class number and press a dot after this class. And when I press tab, the REPL is going to print all the properties and methods of the number class on the console. So you will get all the information of the class on your REPL. Now REPL not limit you to only get the properties and methods of the JavaScript class. Instead, you can get the global variables as well. So for example, instead of this number down here, I'm going to say global and press dot here. When I press tab, you can notice I'm going to have all the global variables of Node as a result. So these are the global variable you can get with Node. In this global variable, you can notice I have this global.console. We use this global variable and then we use this property console to print a message on the terminal. Now sometimes you want to get some help from a REPL environment. To do that, the REPL has some special commands, all starting with dots. Let me show you. Let me first clear the screen. I'm going to just simply press Ctrl L to clear the screen. In this terminal, I'm going to just simply get the help from the REPL. To get the help, you just need to type .help. When you press enter, here you can find different statements. In REPL, you can activate the editor mode as well. If you want to write Node script, you can use this editor command. But REPL is more intelligent than this. REPL automatically understands where you want to write a multi-line statement. For example, if I say here if 1 is equal to 0, and then I'm going to specify here curly braces. And now my statement is not actually ended, but when I press enter, REPL will understand where I want to end the statement. So here you can notice we have the multi-line statement using this triple dots. REPL understand I want to write a multi-line statement here. So REPL will add these 3 dots before the statement. And here in this if statement, I'm going to say console.log, and here I'm going to just simply print 1 is not equal, just like this, and then press enter. You can notice the REPL will add this triple dot here as well, and then I'm going to specify here closing curly braces. And now when I press enter, you can notice the REPL exits us from this multi-line statement. REPL is so intelligent and understand where we want to start and end the multi-line statement. So as I said earlier, you can write any JavaScript code inside the REPL. So let me just first create here a simple variable, let a is equal to 10. When I press enter, it will just return undefined because we did not return anything here using this statement. So it's going to return undefined, just ignore it. And now let me print this a variable. So if I just see here console, so if I just see here console.log, and then I'm going to specify here a, and when I press enter, I'm going to have 10 as a result. So in the node, using REPL, you can write any JavaScript code. Now let me show you how you can exit from this REPL. There are different ways you can exit from this REPL. For example, let's say you want to abort the current expression. So for example, you stuck here after this console.log and you want to exit right from here. You can press Ctrl C to exit from this expression. If you want to exit from this REPL, you can press Ctrl D. Or if you want to exit from this REPL, you can use this REPL command .exit. Let me just execute this command. I'm going to say here .exit. When I press enter, this will just exit me from the REPL. This is super easy. Practice with REPL to understand how you can work with it. Next, we'll talk about how to write our first node script.